Access denied. Danger. Discretion is advised. Suffer. In a world, one man. Go where no man has gone before. The hotspot. The hotspot. Access granted. Good evening. How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's having a wonderful week. It's happy hump day. Well, it's almost Thursday, but it's still Wednesday. So, yeah, it's been an interesting week so far. And you might have noticed a change already. That being a little intro. Of course. Never fails. Yeah, we have a little new song I did just because the old style wasn't really working too well. Mainly, the issue was I'm trying to get into like promotion and advertising, not necessarily to just make monetary off of YouTube. I mean, eventually one day, yes, when the channel grows. But right now, I'm just more focused on developing it and trying to prelude and get people thinking, and just not this normal. Everybody tends to, I notice, like wants to live in a box, and I mean that's fine if you want to, but sometimes you just gotta pull the wool from over your eyes and see where things really stand. Like I say, even if you don't believe the truth, it doesn't necessarily make it not the truth. So yeah, I mean that's just something I made there over the past like day and a half, off and on, probably total time 2.5, 3 hours, I would say. But yeah, the whole thing with that was, I wanted to try to get promoters to help me with promoting and all that, and they know more about like the legalness of the YouTube system than I do per se. So, they said, even though it's not the full song, it's only like a clip, that even if I become like monetized, and even though I say, I don't own the rights and this isn't my song, you can't do that unless you get approval from the artist, which very hard to get in contact with, 90s hip hop people. But I did get an email from somebody associating the label, and I was even willing to do like a small royalty. Well, basically like 1/10 of a cent each play. That's about what they get on the radio stream stuff anyway. So, but they neglect it. So, I mean, I was gonna give like $200. That would have been covered me for life. Because she hasn't been. Foxy Brown wasn't monetized off of that. So if I became monetized, then they like to dip their hand in my honey pot. So, I mean, it's just kind of one of those, it is what it is. Maybe I'll try to touch up on it a little bit later for anybody else that's wanting to get into, making a YouTube channel, whether it's, I know a lot of Generation Zs are into the TikTok and those sort of apps. And I mean, some of them are pretty cool. It lets your goofy side out. And some people are, talented. Other people just, want to be famous at night. Um, so yeah, this is the new road I'm gonna try just because if I can't, I like the song and it's catchy with uh, the episodes that I do and the whole podcasting, but couldn't come to an agreement. So what are you gonna do? That's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. So the last episode was on getting more subscribers and some likes, and it's a good feeling because I'm not doing this. I mean, I'm in part collaborating it with like my stand-up stuff, even though probably it's only funny like maybe 1 or 2 minutes out of the whole ordeal. But that's the nice thing about the channel. You can kind of expand, contract, do what you want to do. And I do have a lot of ideas for the soon upcoming future. I have a couple like small little shows I want to try, almost like South Park kind of animated type stuff. I guess I just have ideas storming me all the time, but I'm not very good like drawing wise, so pretty much have to like get a computer designer program thing going. And I am nowhere near that tech savvy as a lot of other people are. Um, and speaking of which, if anybody is, pretty tech savvy, I'm looking for kind of like an intern just to help out with the growing of this. I mean, it could not really be nothing much, up front. I mean, that's what internships are, but I mean, rest assured, if the bridge work lays out and everything goes good, I mean, eventually I have no problem taking care of, the people that looked out for me. Because in the end, I mean, that's what it's all about. That's all we really have is each other in the end. Um, so yeah, do have a couple of questions I saw. I was checking yesterday in the email folder, so I want to address them because, as I like to say, this is always an open show. I try to be open with the people as much as I can, and I know you guys let me in a little bit. I let you in a little bit, and it's all about give and take and harmony in this world. So first one we got today. Love the last episode. I can relate. In the past few years, I've noticed news companies play favorites locally. They seem to hype up the violence and never give praise for the good that is done anywhere. You end up having to see it on a Facebook timeline somewhere. Why do you think that is? Um, that's a good. I mean, that's a fair question, nonetheless. I don't necessarily know if I have the answers because it all depends on like what demographic you're in. Um, whether I mean, because like I say, the news people they're giving you news, yes, but they're also making sure that their agenda is prioritized in whatever they're developing. Um, so if they have, like I said, I don't really want to get into it because mainstream media has taken a big, I would say, hit over the past, well, for a long time, but in reality, the past 5, 6 years, they're really just. I mean, if you want to go like big mainstream, you got like Fox News, um, very Republican, Democrat, MSNBC, and it's just all to conjugate back and forth and mix up the blood and make the Democrats look stupid and then make the Republicans look stupid and the back and forth and the bickering. I mean, there is no really time to cover the good stories because all they're doing is sticking their hand in everybody else's honeypot. Um, it's sad too because like that's why I don't really watch the news. I mean, weather you can get on your phone, sports you can get on your phone, um, and even what they're telling you, it might not be a lie, but um, there's nobody to like dictate and control them. Like they just kind of, you know, putting stuff out in the papers and stuff like it's the Bible almost. So, but yeah, that's a very good question and insight there. Like I said, I don't really have all the answers. I mean, I would probably have to, like I said, it's very demographic. Like Philly, I mean, my closest big city is Philadelphia. And like I said, I don't really watch the news, but I mean, they tend not to really give a crap. It's all about camaraderie between, the news guy and the desk clerk and the guy in sports and handing it down to this dude in traffic. And then, you know, mix it in with some commercials. It's all just a bunch of monarchy. But, and if you're in other areas like, Detroit, I'm sure you get an abundance of violent stories and, issues with the Flint water still to this day, which is still something I do not know why it's not taken care of. Um, doesn't seem like that hard of an issue. And if it is, I mean, fix it. Like, water issues should not be something that we're dealing with in, 2019. It's quite sad, very quite sad. But I mean, hey, if I was, had anything I could do to help, I would. Most definitely. I mean, I'm sure you get people try to help out and send like truckloads of water or something. And I know like filtration systems or something, because it's not good. It's unsanitary, unpleasant, I imagine. Um, but yeah, like I said, demographic, like LA, they're just so weird. And you could tell when, something is fishy with the news, something, and this is something that has happened probably in the past decade. Um, if it's like instantaneous, like it just happened 15, 20 minutes ago, and they're already like live on the scene, it's like, how are you that fast? Like, I understand, move, but it just doesn't seem fathomable. Because, you got to get the trucks ready, all the people lined up to get there. I mean, choppers, not that hard. You can get relatively quick, probably from any place, and they might even charter a helicopter if it's really, newsworthy, and just send somebody up and a cameraman up. But as far as like the vehicles, and it all seems like they're just boom right there, cue on key, and it smells a little fishy, some fish tacos or something around, but y'all keep eating it, so they're gonna keep serving it. All right, on to the next one. How far do you think the Sixers will make it in the playoffs this year? Oh yes, well I guess it is that time. Um, Everything's winding down or just beginning. Baseball's beginning, and I know hockey and basketball and all that good stuff is closing on down. I think the Sixers, if I'm not mistaken, they're the 3 seed, so they would play the Brooklyn Nets. And I mean, Brooklyn, I think they played the Sixers pretty hard this year, so I don't think it's really going to be like an easy feat for the Sixers, because the Sixers, I mean, I love them. They're a hometown team. I mean, they're not like my team per se, but they have the talent. I mean, obviously you can see it. They're starting 5, they're benched, coaching. It's just, I don't know. They lack discipline sometimes, and I mean, but when they're clicking and the engine is running properly on all cylinders and everything's running wonderfully, they're a wonderful, wonderful team. But as far as how far they're going to go, I don't know, because you got what, Toronto and Indiana Pacers in that same kind of bracket with them, I believe. And I got to go probably with Toronto. I'm not trying to be a hater, but I think they will get by with the Brooklyn Nets. It's what, best of 5, so they'll probably win 3-1. But and the other one you got, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Milwaukee, and I don't even know who the heck the other teams would be. I'm pretty sure in the East is going to be Milwaukee and it'd be the Celtics. Yeah, so it'd be Milwaukee and the Celtics probably versus the Sixers and Toronto. Gotta go with Toronto and Milwaukee for the East, and the West, I don't know. Portland is they're pretty darn good, but if they win, they'll most likely be taking on Golden State Warriors, and then in the bottom area, probably Houston. So most likely in the West it'll be like probably Houston and or the Nuggets. The Nuggets are really good too. I don't know. It'll be interesting in the West. And I don't know. I'm not going to put any money on the playoffs the way I think it's going to play out. As long as the freaking Warriors don't win again. I like to see the Sixers, and they got a shot. And last year they played the Heat, and then got beat up by Boston pretty bad. And overall, all the teams that they could possibly play, they've beaten. It's just how they got to play, and it's not just one game. It's a series. It's home, away, home. So I hope they definitely beat the Nets. If not, hate to say it, but it'd be a wasted season. They made a lot of moves this year. Probably spent a lot of money. If they don't have anything to show for it, it's not going to be pleasant. And that's kind of how I attest to the Phillies. They're doing really good. I think they're still, doing first place in the division. I was just looking at the standings the other day, and holy cow! Did you see Seattle like 11-2, over 100 runs in already, and they're only what, several games in? That's like 9 runs per game. That's hitting the bats well and pitching pretty good. But yeah, the Sixers, I hope that they can do it. I haven't really been following them into the postseason. Hopefully, they've been resting a little bit of the starters, and once they lock up that seed, they can work more on teamwork and chemistry. And like I said, if they can move the rock and do the fast break and play just fairly good defense, they're a tough team. But it's when they come off the bench, or if they go into when the bench players come out, and then they got to pick up the heat because the starters aren't really in sync, and rebounding's bad, and they're not assisting, and the ball's not being moved properly. But and I think rivalry will play a little bit into it too. But I definitely have them beating the Brooklyn, so they're definitely going to get at least one series in. I don't know though, Toronto, that's going to be tough. And then after that, you still have Celtics or Milwaukee, which I wouldn't really want to play either of those. They have beat the Celtics, but they usually just struggle with them a lot. So yeah, I mean that's the questions for this week. If you have any questions or topics, interests, points, anything, reach out. The reach out email is bdun1987 at gmail.com. Or you can just go on the, right now we're only on YouTube. There's a couple other, like I know people have been saying to go towards like the Apple podcast site and everything within due timing. I mainly just want to start out with um, the YouTube just because, I mean, I have a channel already, and I just feel like, YouTube is something that everybody is very, I don't want to say influenced by, but everybody kind of knows what it is. Everybody knows how to use it. You just type in, boom, click, play. All these other sites, I'm scared, you have to like sign up, make an account with them, register, all that sort of stuff. And I don't want to do that to you guys. I really don't. I just like to keep it simple, free, flowing. And if something were to, come along on any of the other platforms, I mean, I could probably spring for it, but I know they're limited in like, the timing of like, uh, how long you can necessarily do. Like they might have like, hour sessions or hour and a half sessions. I usually try to keep this relatively around the hour just because I know, if people are like driving or working, it's an hour is a long time, but same time it's really not. Like I said, I know people might listen to bits and pieces and not the whole strings, the whole thing straight through, which, I mean, hey, that's everybody has their preferences of how they like to do it accordingly. And speaking of, trying to expand on YouTube and move around and do all sorts of new and interesting and exciting things. So I say every day is an adventure, or at least every day should be an adventure. And I mean, everybody has their bad days. There's no putting that to the past. But your goal when you get up should be to make the most of it. And I know that sounds probably pretty cliche, but I mean, I remember times in my life where everything was so routine and just tough on your body, your mind, your soul. You get up, you get ready for your day. If you're a day shift person, you live the first shift life. Go to work, come home, or after work, you go to the gym, pick up the kids, get dinner ready. The evening winds down. A little bit of personal time, or spend some time with the kids. Some people have sports activities, so I know it can be very brawling to your body and to your spirit as well. But I feel excuse me. I feel like when you get up, you should. And I'm not one to really to say because I'm kind of still all over the place. But I mean, I get up. I'm thankful for the opportunity, especially if it's a nice day. I feel like that just boosts the morale. And then I've been still on the trying to limit my coffee caffeine stuff to around once twice a week, even though I don't necessarily think that was involved in the process of me developing some writer's cramp, writer's block, whatever you want to call it. Um, but I also feel like even if it's not there with my stand-up comedy, the idea is for like I have an idea for uh, a movie. It's kind of like a horror one, and then I have an idea for kind of like mini episodes. I want to like develop some characters and kind of make like a cool, funny story. Um, and just make like each little, make it like 2, 3 minutes of like, kind of like Robot Chicken. Remember, it was like 11, 12 minutes of just nonstop BS, and it was just, pleasing to the soul. And speaking of the YouTube, I think it's not 100% certain. I have talked to a couple people and been trying to spread the news and the word, at least to the closies. I don't know if I'm going to branch it with somebody else's, but there is talks that of maybe being, I might join it with the channel or I might take it separately. I'm not sure yet. But it's going to be called the Tower Hour. I went with that just because, Washington Towers, and it's going to be like a hardcore hour. And with that show, I kind of want to do, not like this one where it's just more of not really like a script, and it's not really like there's no like fundamental uh, funneling to it. It's just kind of go with the flow, shoot from the hip. If it feels right, go with it. If it doesn't, shut up. So, I would like to do that for maybe more like episodes of, like how we did the Sunday special or the Sunday episode. And it was special because it was all about conspiracies. And I went on probably for like a good hour and 15 minutes just on that alone. And, if I can get some good requests in the email or in comments of stuff to do, I think I could really run with it. Whether you want it to be like music, what's dying, what's surviving, what's thriving. There's also, I've always wanted to kind of do like a water debate, sorry, not water. Just because, everybody, there's like, I don't know how many, I would say definitely probably over 100 different varieties of water that you can bottle, from distilled, purified, seltzer, flavored, all kinds of stuff. It's kind of ridiculous. And I mean, there's basically people say the more you pay, the better it tastes. But I mean, I wouldn't mind going, deep down on a little dive with that, and maybe not necessarily debating somebody with it, but at least, having somebody else, another opinion, and do like a fair trial taste test. We can't obviously probably get every flavor of water, but at least the top 10, 15 maybe, and just, really dissect them, divert them, and see what they're about. So yeah, I'll go back to the with the YouTube monetization, because a lot of people have been asking me, I don't really follow. I think it's still, I know the policies changed. I think for the channel, it was, I don't think there's really like a minimum number of videos. You just have to have like 4,000 hours of total playtime. Over 1,000 subscribers, and I'm not sure what else. I don't think views or anything or likes. Views do on individual one, because if you want to keep making, and then you can also within your channel make kind of like make them pay for it. It's not like paying for YouTube, like YouTube Plus or YouTube Premium or whatever, the YouTube one that you got to pay money. This is like a separate, you're paying money to basically be on their YouTube. And that's besides, some people asking for like money on PayPal, because it's a very tiresome, grueling process, the setup, the sound checks. Like, I do apologize. That was, the first intro. I didn't really have time to do a full sound check. A full sound check takes about, 18, 20 minutes to do. And I just not necessarily wanted to just, throw a podcast out there, but I'm going to be a little bit busier later in the week, and, tomorrow, open mic night, and then, get ready for the bus stuff on the weekend. So I wanted, and kind of good, I did the song, the intro, and I must have played with that thing so much, because for the whole thing to, and I still don't think it's, 100% perfect. I'm sure it could be mixed up a little bit more, but for 3.5, 2.5, 3.5 hours, that's what I felt was necessary enough to put it on air. And I like it. I think it's good. It's catchy. It's just an intro. It's not a full beat, because many people are like, "Yo, man, you should have just went with, the first part." Because I was doing little clips and sending them out via Snapchat and Instagram and all that sort of stuff, just to because I figured, I might as well tease people a little bit. And they were like, "Oh, you should just get the first part." And I'm not about that. Like, I've made beats before. I probably could still make beats. It's not that hard if you understand music and the measures of music, like 4/4 count, and how many, what the bars are, and the measures. And you can actually, like, not necessarily read music, but know what notes are and be able to keep a tone, whether you use an instrument or vocals. It's not that hard. It is very time consuming. I don't really care how good you are. I'm sure Dr. Dre, you could probably throw one together very quickly these days, but and I don't count those little drum pads on your phone. Those are nice. You can make like a nice little catchy beat, but to actually like fully produce it and mix it mix it down to different formats, it's a lot more than just But hey, I don't really use those, and I don't have a MIDI keyboard, so I did that with a straight computer keyboard. So if anything's off, I apologize, but imagine how crisp it would be if I actually had like an M Audio, 64 or 32 key MIDI keyboard controller. I had one before. Those things are like really, really nice, but really watching my P's and Q's right now, just because I don't necessarily want to be like stuck in the realm of having a 9 to 5 or anything like that. I want to be able to live, progress, enjoy. Because like I said, so many years of my life I felt like it's just living, surviving. Days just become weeks. Weeks just become months. Months turn into years. You know what? In my case, I can't say like, you wake up one day with, 2 kids and a mortgage and all that, because I don't have any of that I know of. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, but, like I said before, wasn't ready for kids. I think I am definitely more digressing towards that. Like I legit used to be scared of the ultrasounds. They used to be like 2D and it'd be all cute. Every baby looked the same. And now they're all like, 4G and looking all creepy. Yeah, I don't want to be that intimate with the baby that early. I'm sorry. Call me a coward, a bastard, whatever you want. But it is what it is. So anyway, back to the monetization. I think pretty sure that's how it is. Like I said, I'm not really necessarily. I didn't choose YouTube for the monetization scheme of it. Eventually, yes, I would like to make money in this one day, just because I'm developing and putting a lot of time into it. And I don't really know why. Everybody just said, hey, you want to be a comedian? Every comedian has a freaking podcast. So I guess I'm starting the podcast technically before I'm a quote unquote comedian. But I don't even know if I am going to become one. I definitely like being in the entertainment business. aspect of it. It's very fun. It's very rewarding because laughter is the best medicine, and to be able to do that and experience it and be the benefactor of it is a very good feeling. It's kind of contagious because I remember when I did like first stand up, didn't get a whole bunch of laughs, but I had two little spews, basically kind of where the whole group, crowd, whatever, kind of chuckles and laughs, and it's a really good feeling, I gotta say. And might have messed up a lot of other punchlines and bits, but to actually get that and to keep that in your head for however long your mind is capable of rendering it is a wonderful, wonderful thing. I should have asked the YouTube guys about this because, I mean, I don't know. NASA spent billions of dollars to put it up there. I'm sure they ain't gonna be able to sue me. They're making way more money off of it than I ever would. But yeah, I have done the updates. I have done some reaching out to the potential mayoral candidates of Berks County this year. I believe I know of three so far, or at least three that I know of. I know of Wally Scott is whatever you call it. I guess running again, being opposed by. I've heard a lot of different people talking about him. Mr. Eddie Moran. He was the vice president, I think, or something used to be on the Reading School Board. So I would really like to get him on to either the Hotspot podshot, or the Tower Hour. Leaning more towards the Tower Hour, just because I feel at least then I can maybe keep it going, and if depending on the time that they can do. Because I also did get reach out to Anna Rose Milch, and yeah, we're in the process of trying to get something going with that. I'll be giving her more information about what we do on here, and so tell your friends, your family, coworkers. It'd be a good thing to hear, just because they're going to be in control of the city for the next few years, so they kind of have the futures are in our futures in their hands, and it's a little bit more hands-on in the municipality, city, state type government. I don't want to say it's like not as corrupt as the big order people, because they don't. I mean, they have like cabinet people and members, but I just feel it's not not as much hand washing going on in the local levels. And yeah, I would like to. My goal is to get all three of them on. I have reached out to all three, and so far it's in the baby stages. But I think it would be important, because even if you get change 50 people's minds or sway them towards they might have not even known what you had to offer, and they were just going to go with their gut or whatever. I still to this day don't understand politics. I mean, I respect it. It's a brutal business on many sides, but I have a lot of respect. It takes a lot of time, a lot of reiteration. Because I mean, I had the opportunity. I remember in middle school and high school, I didn't never want to run for no student body council or anything like that. I mean, it's just all of like, hey, can we do this? I don't know. Let me ask. Hey, can we do this? I don't know. Let me ask. Hey, can we do this? I don't know. Let me ask. And it's just that. By the time you get back to the person that asked it, might not even be something worth pursuing anymore. But all I can say is, man, I love Wally Scott, but he was a great judge. He's done a great job with the parks and cleaning up, and um, but I don't know, it's still a crime issue, and we came up a couple spots. We're not dead last at bad cities. I think we're on the bottom five still, but baby steps, baby steps. But I would like to sit down and try to uh, interview and try to see where they stand, what their goals are, um, what makes them happy, what makes them wanting to keep do it, wanting to keep doing it. I mean, I can't imagine money is a main benefactor. I mean, look, the president probably has the hardest job in the world. Only makes $400,000 a year, a week, a day. I don't know. That's not a lot of money, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So, I mean, senators, I think senators and all that are that many people in power to get the results that we get. I mean, if we had that many people in office, I mean, I gotta look that up because is it like that in any other country in the world? I mean, I know we definitely have at least uh, two members per party for the House, and I think Senate goes based off population or vice versa. But I imagine you probably have, you know, 300 plus people all making six figures on our tax money. I mean, you can put that towards other stuff on the books. Because you always have, education. The big thing is education. Because then, if the school's got to amp up their budget, that affects you on the property taxes. Because that's where they get the money for the schools and a lot of stuff. I mean, the thing I would say is you have to kind of like bring down the like the taxation on manufactured goods or whatever to bring people back to the United States. Because the United States used to be like the 90s, it was a lot of stuff was still made in the USA. But they tax everything so heavy and so much because that's what Democrats are. Democrats are, you know, oh yeah, we'll be able to pay for it. We'll just raise the taxes, boom. And Republicans are kind of like, oh yeah, we'll get the money by raising the prices on, but pretty much the same thing. Raising the price on oil. Bush was known for that a lot. It was the highest it's ever been. It was also, well, it was the highest it's ever been, I think, when Obama was in, but Bush played around with it a lot too, dipping his hand in all those different wars. But I mean, that's more of, a national politics. This is very more local. Um, but I would love to sit down. Um, but I think the current mayor is probably very busy, not only campaigning, but also, he's a mayor, supposed to be running the city. And I'm not going to like march down to the mayor's office and I'm not that dedicated to it. I don't want to like get a record or anything for it, but I just want to be able to see what they have to offer. Because you can you can read about it, but you don't know. Like I said, you don't know if the news is what they're portraying. If the writer, you got to credit their sources, so on and so forth. It's just one of those very weird things. So yeah, we have the Tower Hour will be coming shortly. I don't know exactly still what I'm doing with it. Um, it's very still in the early molding stages, and like I said, if anybody, it's getting to be a lot to do with just one person. I mean, most people have 2 to 4, maybe even 5 people on their like crew roster, whatever you want to call it. Um, And I mean, I don't mind it. It is what it is. But it'd be nice to have help to be able to outsource ideas. And, you know, like I said, there are only 24 hours in a day. And I mean, everybody got to sleep. Everybody got to eat and take care of themselves and work. So it kind of, it is what it is. I understand. But and it keeps spazzing me out, changing all the time. Well, I'm kind of running on E here. I don't know how long we're at. I think it says about 45 or so minutes. So I guess we'll wrap up here. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, whether it's personal or relative, or I say I don't know everything. I don't claim to know everything, but my best thing I can do is dig down in to find good credible sources, and make rational decisions. Just because something is you know claimed as this doesn't necessarily make it like that. Like, I gotta say, well, real quick, just a little religion thing. Scientology always sounds so good until they get to like the aliens coming down into the Atlantic Ocean and just chilling there for through the ice age, and then coming out, getting bored, and screwing the apes for this little Alien versus Predator meets Aquaman in the bottom of the Atlantic. Uh, but yeah. Anyways, going on midnight here on the East Coast, so I hope everybody has a good rest of the week. Finishing it off here, and then you got the whole weekend, and the weather is still been very nice here, at least. So go out there, take care of what you got to do, and I'll see you guys hopefully Friday, but I can't guarantee it 100%. But hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful night, good weekend, and I'll see you on the flip side. Love you guys.